Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Theodore from Ocean Giants, and welcome to another video. And before we get started today, I would like to welcome all my new subscribers or followers on whatever platform you're on, and to thank everyone who leaves messages and comments down below. I really appreciate it. And another thing, we just hit a milestone on my TikTok, 500 followers, and that's crazy. You guys are completely awesome. Thank you guys for your support. And today's video, we'll be talking about the story HMS N1. So let's get started. The HMS 1 was a prototype submarine for the M class. She was built in 1917 in the middle of the First World, towards the end of the First World War. The Germans had their submarines touring the waters. They were sinking ships like crazy, and Britain had their own submarines, but they weren't nearly as good as the Germans. So what they wanted was a submarine that could fire torpedoes along with helping with shore bombardments. So they made a prototype. This prototype had a 50-ton gun on it, which is a 12-inch gun. That's a battleship gun right there. It was made the gun was water resistant, waterproof, and it can easily be reattract to submerge. It can go up. The top speed of it was above water was 13 to 15.5 knots. Underwater would be around 5 to 7 knots. Wouldn't be fast enough to catch, for example, like the German shippings, like for example Kaiser Wilhelm the Gross. They wouldn't be able to catch him or her because she went around 23 knots on top of the water. It had to be a really lucky shot in order to get something that big moving that fast to get a hit on it and sink it. Like for example Queen Mary, submarines had to be very, very lucky because they can only go, again, 15.5 knots above water and 3 to 4 knots underneath it. And Queen Mary went 32 knots. They had to be extremely lucky and extremely well positioned to get a hit on her. But the HMS N1 was launched around 1917. Took 3 years to build her. I remember every day in this the whole submarine's life right now, because I'm just doing what I can off the top of my head, what I can remember, because we had a issue a few days ago where my script got destroyed in a house fire. So we'll have to, right now, the best I can do is do videos, every single video up until this point I have to do off the top of my head. So work with me here. The HMS M1 toured the waters off the coast of Ireland. She would then, she would fight against the Germans. Won't exactly say fight against the Germans. They test her. The 50-ton gun, which was 50 tons, the 12-inch gun, was powerful for its time on a submarine. Nobody would have thought about it. It's like, it kind of reminds you of the K class, which had similar attributes to it. But the HMS M1 had like a 15 to 20 year career, and it ended up sinking, I don't remember the date, but sometime in 1940s, in around the 40s. And found her wreck. I don't think it was Robert Ballard, because I found Titanic and Bismarck, but there was an explorer who found her wreck. She was in remarkable condition. You can still see her 15-inch gun on her. Maybe a couple holes in the hull, probably from either gunfire, for one, or for two, a ramming. Because submarines were not built to be rammed. They were thin metal. They had a steel hull, but it was thin. It wasn't like for example, ocean liner hulls or battleship hulls. They were too thin. They're paper thin. For example, the RMS Olympic, the sisters at Titanic, rammed a submarine from First World War, and it cut her in half, split her in half, and just barely left a scratch on the Olympic's propeller, because it went underneath and scratched the propeller, and that's it. But the submarines, again, were not built to be that way. They were built to submerge for underwater warfare. And that's exactly why the Germans were sinking ships. So the British military built the HMS N1 for a prototype to test it out. The tests were okay, but the issue was, like, if they couldn't get the gun retracted fast enough before they were able to submerge. Because, you know, there's issues where planes can attack from above, or a ship can fire its guns onto it and have it immediately submerge. If the crew on the HMS One couldn't really submerge, retract the gun fast enough, then it would just let water into the hull and would sink the HMS One N1 with everyone on board if it wasn't careful. So it had to be a certain timing, a certain place that they can do that, because it was dangerous. That 12-inch gun did some powerful damage on any other shipping line shippings. It could fire against destroyers at the same size guns, and the destroyer can hardly hit her because she's in the water. She was particularly built for shore bombardments, though. So running around Germany, she would have been shore bombarding them. Same like, for example, like the Iowa class. They bombarded in Vietnam. They bombarded Vietnam with their 16-inch guns. But that's a battleship. That's not a submarine. That's a rare thing. Submarines are rare things that, you know, with the 12-inch gun is a rare thing. They cannot. That's the first one. The M class was the first of 4, and that was it. It goes HMS M1, HMS M2, and then HMS N3 and HMS N4 became later on aircraft carriers or aircraft subs. Basically, aircraft submarines with an aircraft platform. So they were, you know, the only two that was specifically done was fully in commission at the time was HMS N1. M2 was later used for something else. But, well, I would like to thank you all guys for watching today. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments to see what you guys think of it. Alright, everyone. Have a nice day.